Thank you, Litnix Journal, for this opportunity to talk about myself and my book. I've wanted to write most of my adult life. I imagine and dream stories and scenes, and I thought writing books would be a good way to share my stories with a larger audience. Life gets in the way, though, and I just couldn't seem to get around to writing. It took a heart attack and bypass surgery for me to finally say, it's now or never. I wrote my first book the year I turned 70. I write science fiction that flips physics on its head, and Zero I is the epitome of this. It's about controlling inertia, but you might be surprised how many other aspects of physics are affected by this. It's set in the near future, so introducing this revolutionary propulsion technology and limitless energy to the world results in opposition from established industries. Question 1. What inspired you to write Zero I? My inspiration was starting with the idea of controlling inertia. It's common in other science fiction and TV movies to mention in passing inertial dampeners or some such, a nod to the fact that space travel requires extreme acceleration to cover the vast distances involved. It seemed to always be treated as established technology, nothing to see here. I wasn't satisfied with that. I wanted to explore it in more detail. Being a bit of a tinkerer, I thought it would make for a great story to write from the perspective of discovery and development of this ability. Question number 2. What inspired the idea of a technology that could control and eliminate inertia? Well, it's a basic part of physics, so we can't at this point have any, reasonable idea that we might be able to control it, to get rid of it, to induce it. So the ability to control inertia had to begin with the usual suspension of disbelief, some fictional breakthrough. After that, I worked at following the science and physics as they were flipped as a result. I wanted something easy to control once they learned how to do that. And since there's a great deal of energy required for the movement, I again asked the reader to suspend disbelief by seemingly getting more energy out than is put in, resulting in a limitless energy supply. A fun part of the discovery process was various characters recognizing where physics was flipped and their reactions as they came to grips with that. Question 3. Your main character is a former fighter jet pilot. Why did you choose that background for him? Well, the opposition to this revolutionary propulsion included military action, seeking to destroy the prototype aircraft. I needed a character who could possibly survive such an encounter and who could bring test pilot skills to the team, while also challenging his own assumptions and expectations about flight itself. An ex-military pilot, so there was some drama, some opportunity for the main character to redeem himself from a past error. That's just a little foreshadowing for you. Question 4. The story explores unlimited clean energy and corporate greed. What message were you hoping readers would take from that conflict? Greed is a good term for it. Clean energy is a hot topic these days, and I wanted to explore the conflict resulting from a breakthrough which fulfills that intent, while also showcasing the economic upheaval that results from such a radical shift, and the lengths powerful people would go to while trying to protect their own interests. Fifth and last question. What was the most exciting or challenging part of writing Zero I? The exciting part for me was writing the incredible agility of a craft that was no longer limited by inertia, but only by the reflexes and skill of the pilot. Think of a dragonfly, how fast and how easy it moves around, and how rapid the changes are. That's where I'm going. Just expand that up from the little dragonfly to a cargo helicopter. The most challenging part was making the development and discovery process plausible and inevitable through a chain of events. Even Gordon's street racing played into this. It's very satisfying writing novels. I discovered when I started writing my first novel how much I love it. I was crying in the sad and the joyful parts and laughing in the funny parts. Yep, laughing at my own jokes. I mentioned dreams are sometimes source material for my stories. I'll read you an example from the novel, the scene that begins chapter 9. Denise and Gordon looked deeply into each other's eyes. They were in a gazebo, vines growing up the supports. Pale moonlight washed across their faces. Outside the gazebo, there was a garden sparingly lit by light strings. Fireflies danced in the air. Gordon put his hand on her face. I love you so much. They drew into an embrace and kissed. A susurrus of cicadas began to serenade them. I just wish I could tell you. Then Gordon woke up. The cicadas morphed into the sound of his alarm. He had a breakfast meeting in a half an hour with Denise, so he got up to prepare. The song Dream a Little Dream comes to mind when I think of this scene. It still seems strange that I was dreaming a dream. I write hopeful fiction rather than dark. My hope is that people who read my stories will come away feeling happier and more peaceful, and perhaps have a new perspective on the physics that surround us in our daily lives. Thank you very much.